What is up, everyone? My name is Nick LaRocco, and I am joined by a special guest, friend of Dirt Sheet Radio, Ed Allen. Ed, introduce yourself to everyone.
What's up, all? I am Ed Allen. I am the founder of WrestleCrate, which became the largest wrestling-based subscription service in the world. I no longer run it now. Doing some pretty cool things. So, yeah.
No, right on. And honestly, WrestleCrate, that just took the world, especially the world of wrestling, by storm. Definitely, I want to talk a lot about that. But first, I want to go into how's your day going?
Everything's good, man. Just hanging out with the family, watching a little football. Not doing too much.
Um,
It's the couple off days from what I'm doing now, but yeah, everything's great.
no, that's awesome, man. Yeah, so WrestleCrates, tell us about that. Like, when did you decide, like, hey, this is what I want to do, this is what I want to pursue?
Right. So it was around like 2014 or so, and it was when like Loot Crate was starting to get pretty big. Loot Crate was, they did like sci-fi and like more of things like that, Stranger Things and all that stuff.
Mhm.
And my son at the time, he was like, I don't know, around 7 or 8 years old. And he was like, is there a rest? Because me and him were huge wrestling fans. And he's like, is there a wrestling thing like Loot Crate? And I was like, I don't know. Let me look. And there wasn't one. And he was like, well, let's do it ourselves. And I was like, you know what? I think you're onto something there. So yeah, man, I literally at the time when I started it, I went around to like FYE and to at the time Toys R Us, just buying wrestling action figures and DVDs and all that stuff to prepare for it because I really didn't know what I was getting myself into at the time. I didn't have any kind of distribution with anybody or anything like that. So I just, kind of made a web page and was like, all right, here's what we're going to do. We're just going to put action figures in it and DVDs. And I started reaching out to some wrestlers. And at the time, the first person we had for autographs in the crate was Abyss. And Abyss is local to the Cincinnati area. So I just reached out to him like, hey, man, I'm doing this thing. Would you be interested in doing autographs in the first one? And he was like, absolutely. So I met him at a parking lot here in town, and he gave me a stack of them, and I put them in that first crate. But I mean, it just like you said, it just blew up right off the start. I think our first month we sent crates out. I think I had like 100 subscribers, and by the third month, I was almost at 1,000 already. So it just was crazy, and I was doing it out of a little small 2 bedroom condo. You know what I mean? So
Mhm.
I mean, it just got so crazy and so awesome. I was lucky to meet all kinds of great people in the wrestling world and work with people in the wrestling world and the wrestling fans. It was just a great time of my life for sure.
Man, that is awesome. So, apart from like WrestleCrate, I'm sure you probably, had like another job or whatnot you were focused on even before that. Like when WrestleCrate took off, were you seeing that as like, okay, this is going to be the direction of my life now?
Yeah, yeah, pretty much. So, I had a regular job I was doing, and I think I kept that job for I think about a year or year and a half before, I was like, and that's what I ended up doing.
All right. We kind of lost a little connection there, if you wouldn't mind repeating that.
The part about the work. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So yeah, I had a regular job, that I was at for probably at that time for like 12 years. So after I was doing both, after about a year or so of doing both, I thought WrestleCrate was finally stable enough that I could just focus on that full time.
Oh man, that was definitely, I'm sure you probably felt that was a huge risk to take, but
Yeah, absolutely. I had a lot of discussions with my family and everything. It was a huge jump because I had a pretty good serious job at the time, and it was a big jump for sure.
absolutely. But hey, man, you bet on yourself and look what happened. That paid off immensely.
Right? Got to take risk in this world.
No, for sure, for sure. I gotta ask too, with WrestleCrate taking off, were you expecting it to just blow up beyond what anyone could have thought possible so early?
Not at all, man. I thought it was just going to be a cool little supplemental thing to what I was doing at the time. I thought I would have, with a couple hundred subscribers, make a little money, a little side gig kind of thing. But like after the first 3 or 4 months, I was like, man, this stuff is pretty big. Where I started having, people in the wrestling industry, some of the performers reach out to me like, hey man, I see what you're doing. Can I get involved with this? And stuff. So it was like super cool. They like, the wrestlers were coming to me like, hey, this is awesome. Can I work with you? And at that point, I was like, wow, I think I got something good going here.
Yeah, and that was really cool. I remember too, like in that era of social media, there was the rise of all the Facebook groups for wrestling fans, and people were just constantly, sharing like opening videos and all pictures of their wrestle crates that they got. And I remember that was a fun time.
Yeah, like I remember like one time being on Facebook and there was a page specifically dedicated to WrestleCrate trading. So people who, might have missed a month or two where they could go in and just trade stuff from crates and former crates and stuff like that. And I still get on while and you'll see like eBay, WrestleCrate exclusive stuff being sold on eBay and it's selling for pretty good too. So that's pretty neat.
Yeah, but that feels great to see how valuable and worthwhile your stuff's been.
Yeah, right. Yeah, for sure.
Now, I gotta ask too, are there any like specific like crates or like bundles that you put together that really stand out to you and you're just like, this is a great one?
Anytime I did the Mattel Elite figures, I thought that really gave great value to the boxes, and a lot of people collect those, and I thought that was something great for kids as well. That you get an action because I remember being a kid myself and playing with
Mhm.
action figures, like the highlight of my day, going to the store with my mom and getting an action figure.
Oh yeah.
So like kids getting the action figures and seeing the feedback of that was great. Was really cool to me.
Oh, for sure. And like you said, I like going to Toys R Us. Growing up, that was one of the best things was just grabbing whatever like figures. And if I can get the whole play set, that was even better. And yeah, I wish WrestleCrate was around when I was a kid. But yeah, so we talked about WrestleCrate just starting to boom. Tell us about a little bit as the journey continued onwards and it started to have just all this widespread success and whatnot as you're getting closer to the time of getting ready to sell it.
So yeah, things were really crazy. I was doing a lot of the stuff on my own, and I was under a lot of pressure, a lot of stress at that time, and it was kind of eating away at me. And at that time, a lot of copycats were coming out as well,
Mhm.
from big name companies. They're like, wow, they've seen the success I was having. And they pretty much just copied exactly what I was doing, which that's business. I completely understand that. No knock on them or anything, but that was kind of a stressful time. Like, oh my God, this big huge company is going to bury us and we're not going to be able to succeed anymore, having those thoughts and everything, and running it myself. That's kind of where my head was at when I started thinking about selling it. I was having some mental health and health issues at the time as well, so I had a lot going on and I just couldn't have that focus there anymore that I needed to have with it. So, I think it was around 2019 or so, 18. That's when I kind of decided to move on from it. I absolutely regret it. I really do. But that's life, man. You just find a new adventure and try to make the best of it.
Oh, absolutely. Just keep on looking forward, keep on trucking, making your, decisions and whatnot. And so be it. I mean, hey, it was a great time. Look, you have all this experience, have all these tremendous stories to be able to talk about and whatnot. So I don't think there's
Yeah.
anything to regret there.
Like, working with I worked with like young bucks like a ton, and that was super cool. Talking to them and coming up with ideas for the crate, and just big huge stars like Kurt Angle and Jerry Lawler and like Rhyno. He became like pretty close to me and a buddy of mine, having his stuff in there, and just all those memories are just so awesome. They really are.
Oh, absolutely. And I definitely too. You could think of it as like a marketing tool for certain wrestlers as well to be able to get their stuff out there, like you said.
Oh yeah, for sure. So a lot of these wrestlers go and do these cons or whatever, and you know, they have to fly to wherever the con is, and they sit there for how many hours and keep signing over and over. With me, I'm like, yeah, I'll buy 3,000 autographs from you, and you don't have to do anything except for sit on your couch and then ship them to me. You know what I mean? So,
Oh yeah.
and that's a pretty good payday for just signing a couple thousand autographs.
Yeah, no bumps involved there.
All right. So a lot of wrestlers reach out to me, not even autographs, like, even there's some of their gimmicks and stuff. I remember John Morrison contacted me and it was like, man, I got a ton of my glasses that I can't move. I can't do anything with them. Is there any way you can take them off my hands? And I'm like, absolutely. We'll throw them in the. So a lot of cool things like that always popped up. So really, really neat.
Oh, that's awesome. Now, do you have any stories in particular from WrestleCrate where you were working with a wrestler, maybe good, bad? If it's bad, don't feel like you have to name anyone in particular.
Let me think about that one. Dude. No, I mean, I guess the kind of drawing a blank here, so give me 1 second.
No, it's
Um,
all good.
yeah, yeah. I even thought about this earlier too. Like, what's a good story I could tell that, um,
I mean, that's
you
just
know,
one of the good problems to have is the fact that you do have so many stories to try and choose from and think about.
um,
Yeah, man, those are those good problems, but
right, right. I guess I could just go into, what's the word I'm looking for? Where, God, I'm having such a brain freeze right now. To where you like one person introduces you to another and they introduce you to another. There's like a one word for it and I can't spin it. um
like a in interconnectivity.
yeah, interconnectivity, but there's a word for it and I can't like think of it. My God. Shoot. All right, give me 1 second. This
Oh,
is
good
driving me.
man.
um and I got it like on the tip of my tongue too.
I would just say that.
Yeah. So you like where the I'm trying to think. They even have like groups for it where, like, one business meets with another business and they just kind of everybody intermingles and introduces each other to other people. God,
Like
shoot.
well, yeah, but I mean, taking it by
Um,
that we're decide.
oh, I got. Okay, I just remembered what a good one was, and then I'll just go right. It was a CES in Chicago.
Ooh, okay, that's in my neck
Yeah.
of the woods.
Oh, really? Yeah. So we did CES. Let me think who all was there. It was Mean Gene, The Godfather, Foley, and Mean Gene, Godfather, Foley, and um, Mr. Anderson.
Okay.
Okay. So yeah, I could tell that story. Yeah. So you just want me to jump right into it?
No, absolutely.
Yeah. So in I think it was 2016 or 2017, we had a booth at CES in Chicago, and in our booth we had Foley signing, the Godfather signing, Mr. Anderson, and Mean Gene Okerlund. And it was so great just to be there and hang out with those legends and kind of get to know them. And seeing all the wrestling fans come to the booth and learn about WrestleCrate and get signed up for WrestleCrate while getting autographs from those legends. It was such an awesome time, and I got to do it for 3 whole days in a row, which was I was giddy. You know what I mean? I was just
Yeah.
sitting, smiling ear to ear the whole time. Um, the real highlight of that was really sitting down and talking with Mr. Okerlund and getting to know him and listening to his stories. That guy is a jewel. He really was just great, and he was very very authentic, which was awesome. Even after the convention, we hung out at the hotel, had a few drinks at the bar, hang. And I mean, what else could be better than that? You know what I mean? It was great.
Oh, absolutely. Who wouldn't want to have a drink with Mene Gene?
Oh,
But now I gotta ask, we've talked a lot about WrestleCrate, but once it's sold, what have you been up to the last couple years?
so yeah, man. I took some time off. Like I was dealing with the health and mental health issues, and the pandemic came soon after that, and I was dealing with a lot of deep dark stuff, and really in a bad place. And luckily, I got some help. Probably a couple years ago, and things start getting a lot better for me. And ever since then, things have just been on the up. Recently, I got a position with there's a local card shop, sports card shop in the Cincinnati area called HitSeekers, and they they stream 7 days a week on the Loop app and on the Fanatics Live app, selling sports cards. And they're the number one seller on the Loop app with sports cards. So I got a position with them, running a stream, selling sports cards. It's I get a lot of wrestling fans in there who come in and buy wrestling sports cards and stuff like that, and it's great to talk wrestling while open up cards with them. You know, Sports cards were always a passion of mine with wrestling. So when this opportunity came up, I just had to take it just because who doesn't like opening like baseball cards every day? You know what I mean? And it's been a really, really good thing for me, and I really enjoy it.
Oh, that's great, man. Yeah, like, oh, if you just go like YouTube anywhere, there's lots of streams, lots of videos. People love just being able to see and experience, opening up certain cards. And if you can pull a real good rare out of certain packs, like, oh, that is the best.
Oh, great, man. Like there's a few videos out there of me like, opening packs for customers and pulling some like pressure into it. But um recently they came out with it in Tom Brady card that is super rare because he was drafted by the Expos
I'm gonna
before
have
he.
to interrupt you there a bit, Ed. Would you repeat what you just said? Sorry about that. Just kind of had another audio glitch.
So recently, a couple months ago, a product come out called Bowman Draft Baseball, and it had a Tom Brady card in it that was kind of a chase because some people don't know that Tom Brady was drafted by the Expos to play baseball before he actually started playing football. And so to kind of commemorate that, they put a Tom Brady baseball card in this set, and it was super sought after. I'm not sure how many exactly there was, but it was super rare. And I actually got to pull one of them for a customer, during my stream, and like I screamed like a girl, went a little crazy, and it was super cool. So, you know, having that experience and doing that is just so fun and awesome. Takes me back to being a kid, really.
No, absolutely, man. I got like a whole several boxes full of like baseball cards. I also got like a bunch of like Pokemon and Yu-Gi-Oh cards. So I nerd out completely on cards, especially opening. That's so much fun.
Oh yeah, man, I love it. Like I said, like it's like being a kid again, and getting to do that for a living now is like what like this is awesome.
No, that is great. Yeah, I mean, I won't lie. There's times where I will just order a couple booster packs. There's a lot of card games I don't even play anymore. I don't really have people to trade with, but at the same time, it's just so much fun. There's serotonin in there whenever you open a pack, especially when you get a good pull.
Yes, you are absolutely right. Just that feel of getting something good, or the opportunity to get something good being there. Like you said, it just raises the serotonin and levels and gets you all giddy. I like it.
I gotta ask too, is there anything in particular, maybe from a stream or just at some point in your life, what's the rarest pull you've ever had?
Um,
or
let's
maybe
see.
coolest?
So that Brady was pretty rare, but a couple months before that, I pulled an Ichiro Superfractor, which was a one of one, only one of them in the world autograph. That was pretty cool. And myself, actually going back to my WrestleCrate days, I would occasionally put wrestling cards in the crates as well. So I would get like a whole bunch of shipments of these wrestling cards, and of course I have to open some. I just can't put them all in there. And when doing that, I pulled a Rowdy Roddy Piper 101 autograph printing plate. That was probably the most rare card I've ever pulled personally. But yeah, that was awesome.
Oh man, that's great. Please tell me you still have that.
Yep, still do. Yep,
Oh yeah, that's something that goes right in the collection.
yeah, yes, yes. And it was weird because back then the um the trading card reboom hadn't happened yet, so stuff wasn't as sought after or worth as much back then. But I think when the pandemic hit, that's when the trading card boom really happened. So stuff has crazy, insane values now.
No, for sure, for sure. I gotta ask, as we get through and we talk about HitSeekers and your past with WrestleCrate, is there anything in particular you're really looking forward to over the next several years of your journey?
Yeah, I do want to build this stream thing, man. I'm kind of getting started on doing a show on Fanatics with HitSeekers. That's just kind of going to be wrestling centric, where wrestling fans have a place to come and have a good stock of cards to buy from, and a place where they could come and discuss wrestling while opening up cards and stuff like that. So I really want to try to build that up and do that, because there's really nothing like that out there where, from a trading card perspective, where wrestling fans could come into a stream and talk with other wrestling fans and open up cards at the same time. So I think that'd be something pretty cool to do. And it's always there. Never say never, but I've thought about kicking the tires on another WrestleCrate, but I'm not quite there yet. But I had a non-compete clause for 5 years, so
Hmm.
that since up, and I've kind of been kicking the tires and thinking about doing it again. Because no matter how many copycats are out there, they never will do it or did it like we did. It will never be copied. So, that's always in the back of my mind to give it another go.
No, absolutely. Especially because, with you and WrestleCrate, you guys had the heart and the passion for it. It wasn't just a business thing.
Yeah, yeah. And the cool thing about it is we weren't some big company or corporation. It was me, my wife, and my 8-year-old son out of a 2-bedroom condo. You know what I mean? That's where it was built from. That's where it came from. And it was made out of love for wrestling. We were wrestling fans, and we wanted to give wrestling fans what wrestling fans like us would want.
No, absolutely. That is tremendous, man. Now, I what more is there to say here? This has been an awesome and tremendous interview. And Ed, I want to thank you so much for your time. And right before we go, I just want to say, you're one of the coolest people we've ever had on here to talk with, and you're very entrepreneurial minded at that.
Awesome, man. I appreciate the time.
I want to
You can
say
check
too, before we go, sorry to interrupt you there. I just want to also say if there's anything in particular you would like to plug, feel free.
all right on. You can check me out on Instagram. My name is Eddie Pulls the Heat. Eddie Pulls the Heat on Instagram. Check me out there. I'll be posting more stuff about when I'll be streaming and stuff. I'm going to try to get that wrestling show fired up here in the next 2 to 4 weeks or something. I don't have a solid date yet, but it's definitely coming. I do stream on the Loop app, usually 4 or 5 days a week. So download the Loop app, come in and say hi. I'm usually on in the mornings from either 8 a.m. Eastern time to about 1 p.m. Eastern time, or 1 p.m. Eastern time. So jump in, say hi. Let them know Dirt Sheet Radio sent you. I'll hook you up with a little discount on some cards, man. We'll get them ripping.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, let's get this going. Get some cards. Use show Dirt Sheet in there. And hey, for Ed, for my co-hosts with Dirt Sheet Radio on the flagship show, John and Greg, and for me, Nick LaRocco, we're going to be signing off, and we'll see you later.